My name is Rebecca, and 6 months ago we decided to sell our house in Adelaide, South Australia, and sell probably around 90% of our belongings and move to Thailand. This is something that we wanted to do for the longest of time, to live the tropical island life. You see it all the time on Instagram, right? People living in places like Bali and Thailand, living cheaply, nice simple lives, being able to go to the beach every day and eat beautiful tropical fruits and things like that. And we made it happen. This is something that I wanted to do forever. Like, I remember in high school I was like obsessed with like surf culture and things like that, so always wanted to live by the ocean. So I am going to share with you today how we made it happen, why we chose Thailand, the process of getting here, and also the last 6 months summed up into a short video. We have lived across 2 islands. So when we first came here, we lived in Phuket and we are now in Koh Samui. Wanted to make the move. We were really comfortable in Adelaide, so we both had lived there for most of our lives. My husband was born in the country but moved to Adelaide when he was like 5 years old. I was born in Adelaide, raised in Adelaide, and spent some time in Queensland, both as a child, but also we moved there after I finished university. So we had lived interstate but never overseas, and like I say, this is something that we wanted to do or wanted to try. We didn't want to get to the stage of like being 50 years old and have that regret, like I wish I lived abroad in my lifetime. Honestly, we were just a little bored where we were. Whilst we were really secure where we were, we had a beautiful house that we had built ourselves and designed ourselves, and it was really lovely. We had at the time corporate jobs which were secure, but they weren't lighting us up. They weren't something that we, I guess, foresaw us doing forever. We always wanted to have our own businesses and work online and have that flexibility to travel. Did enjoy working from home like a lot of people did for the last couple of years, so that was really good, but it also gave us an opportunity to slow down and live a slower pace of life and realize that that's what we liked. And with the world going back to normal, we didn't want to get sucked back into the corporate rat race of like going to an office every day and not being home a lot, not being around each other, and not being around our dog Evie, who is our fur baby, and we absolutely adore her. And we didn't want, to go back to that lifestyle of her like being home alone all day and waiting for us to come home, and then like the whole rat race of leaving at 7 o'clock in the morning and not getting home till 6 o'clock at night, and then by the time the weekend rolls around you're tired. So we really wanted to make that change, and we had been talking about it for years and years and years. My brother is a digital nomad, and we've seen so many people on Instagram do it, and we just never really thought it would be possible for us. But we were really lucky that at the start of this year the property market in Adelaide had done quite well. It had grown quite a lot, and we saw an opportunity to sell our house and to make a little bit of money off of that, to be able to set ourselves up to fund ourselves whilst we were finding our feet in a new country and finding out what it is we want to do. Obviously, if you follow me on Instagram, I do my healing work, and I do have my own business, Awake Zen. So it gave me an opportunity to think about what would life look like if I was to do that full time and really come into that space of doing something that I love every day. Not that I didn't love my corporate job, I did enjoy what I did. I was a product designer in banking, so really a cool job being able to design new products. And having worked in banking for quite a while, I knew what my customers wanted, and being a customer myself, I love running workshops and things like that. So there was definitely similarities between what I do running retreats and working one-to-one with clients compared to what I was doing in the corporate world. So they weren't completely far removed. Like I say, I didn't hate what I did. I just wasn't fully lit up by it. I wasn't super passionate, and we were just in a bit of a rut. Working from home for 2 years was nice, but we were really bored with our lifestyle, and we thought it's now or never. We've got an opportunity to make money selling our house, and we don't have kids, so we didn't have much tying us to Adelaide. Obviously we have our fur baby, and we did bring her with us, and that was logistically a bit of a nightmare and expensive, but we made it happen. So yeah, that is why we decided to move. We decided we wanted to change, and we went for it. something we'd been manifesting for a while. Quite a few signs from the universe popped up, not just the selling of the house and that opportunity, but quite a few signs popped up for us to move, and we did it. And I'm so glad that we did. Why did we choose Thailand? So when we were traveling, a lot of countries obviously had closed their borders or had made it super difficult to get in. They had closed certain visas, so you couldn't get a visa very easily. Bali would have been on the top of our list, but there was only one visa available at that point in time to get into Bali. And also traveling with a dog was near impossible to get into Bali, at least legally. There's a lot of people that bring their dogs onto the island, but it's not legal to do so. So we started researching Thailand as the next best option for us. The thing is, we'd actually never been to Thailand before we moved here full time, which is pretty crazy, but we wanted to take a risk and make it happen. And then also my brother has spent a lot of time here. My brother travels quite a lot because he works online, and he said he really liked it here. And then also my dad has retired in Thailand this year as well. So this all formed the reasons of why Thailand. The visas are a bit easier here in Thailand. A lot of people come here on 60-day tourist visas and then extend them out. So they were extending them out to keep people in the country. Obviously tourism took a big hit, like it did in many places that relied upon tourism. So they have been quite generous with extending visas, but because we were coming with a dog, we wanted a longer term option and didn't want to be at the mercy of immigration extending our visa all the time. So there are options for 1-year education visas where you can study things like Thai or Mai Tai or different things like that. So you could definitely look into that if you're interested in coming here. Or there are longer term visas which cost quite a lot of money as well, and they let you stay in the country for 5, 10, even 20 years. This is some footage that I took of our house before we left. So we built the house in 2015 and moved in 2016. This was our first house, and we're super proud of how it turned out because we designed it all ourselves. So everything was exactly how we wanted it. It was 4 bedrooms, not that we needed that, and 2 living areas. As you can see, it's a real shame I didn't film it while we had all of our stuff in it because it looked a lot nicer. But overall, we're really proud with the house and we really enjoyed our time there, although it took a lot of hard work to get there and also to keep a house of this size and in this location. We're proud that we were able to do it and we enjoyed it while it lasted. It was sad to let it go, a bit of a bittersweet moment, but we were excited for our next chapter at this point. Next, we jetted off to Bangkok and landed into hotel quarantine. So we did this for 10 days. This is a tour of where we stayed in hotel quarantine for the 10 days. So we weren't allowed outside of the hotel room. None of the windows open and we had no balcony. So it was pretty tough, pretty challenging straight off the bat here. And I'm showing you here that there was actually 2 conjoined hotel rooms, and that is because if one of us got sick, the other one would have to go into the other room. Every day, 3 times a day, they delivered us food. They would ring a doorbell and they would leave our food outside of our door, as you can see. It wasn't very good food though, unfortunately. So we got Grab, which is like Uber Eats, delivered to us every day, and that's what we ate. After our 10 days of hotel quarantine was up, we flew to Phuket from Bangkok, and we were going to spend the first few months at least here and wait for Evie's arrival. So here you can see Evie arriving in Thailand and back into our arms. Wasted no time at all getting into the beach lifestyle, and my brother arrived in Thailand as well, so we enjoyed some time together. We took time to discover the local eateries and quite a few vegan options, which was really cool, and it was nice to be able to dine out with Evie, especially inside, because that's not much of a thing in Australia. This was a raw place using all organic and local ingredients. We took some time to experience Phuket, and this is Phuket town. couple of months into our stay in Phuket, we had to go back to Bangkok to go to immigration. So while we were there, we went to Central World, which is one of the major shopping centres there, and it was really cool to see that. We of course explored so many beaches, so this was one here which had a really cool resort attached to it, and another one. Of course, no tour of Thailand would be complete without seeing some elephants and also visiting some night markets. My birthday was in May and my dad came from Pattaya to visit for a week, and we had a nice dinner together. End of May, we decided to go to Koh Samui, so we had a driver take us there and we hopped on the ferry across to the island. It was a long journey, but it was so nice to arrive at the beach resort when we got here. As you can see, it's a beautiful, beautiful place and the staff are so lovely. We have been in Koh Samui ever since for about 3 months now, and the island is starting to get a little busier with tourists coming back, which is really good to see for the locals, and we have overall enjoyed our time here. I've had lots of yummy food like fresh coconuts and local cuisine, but also international cuisine and a lot of vegan options, which we're really happy with. We've had some amazing experiences. What's been really cool about it, because we didn't travel a lot before, we've met some amazing people from different parts of the world and made some lifelong friends. So that's been really cool to do as well. It hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows, and I want to highlight that here, that whilst I might be sharing cocktails by the pool and amazing sunsets and things like that, moving to another country is challenging. There is a lot of cultural differences, a lot of frustrations where there are language barriers, a lot of things that you take for granted in your home country, little things like having things available at the shops, or medical care and things like that, especially coming to a third world country. So I do want to highlight that if you're looking at some of these videos online, that it isn't all sunshine and rainbows, and you do have to weigh the pros and cons and what works for you and for your lifestyle. But I also want to say that it's great to get out of your comfort zone, to challenge yourself, to learn about yourself, and just to dig a little bit deeper. If you're feeling like you're in a rut and you want to make a change, then just go out and do it, because you'll look back in years to come and you won't have any regrets. That is something that I really focus on, is I don't want to get to like 50, 55 years of age and think, what the hell have I done with my life? I've just sat behind a desk in a desk job and lived in a house in the suburbs and had 3 children or 2 children or whatever society expects you to have. I didn't want to get to that age and be like, oh, my life's been pretty lackluster and boring. So you've got to take the good with the bad. That's all experience, and it all adds to stories that you can tell one day. So definitely take a risk on yourself. Go out, make a change, and manifest what it is that you have always wanted. Even if it doesn't turn out the way you wanted it to, it will be all worth it in the long run for experience. So this is your sign that you can make it happen. I will speak to you next time on my next video. I am going to continue sharing my reflections and my journey as I live abroad and continue to learn. So I'll speak to you next time. Bye.